Hello, everyone. This is the first of hopefully many videos about empathic abilities and the world of people that tap into the energies and I look like I'm crooked. Hold on a minute. Okay. Anyway, this is going to be the first of many, I hope. So I've got a lot of notes here. I just want you to know that, well, they're not notes, they're the research that I've done, and the different uh, people I can tell you to go to and check things out. There's actually uh, probably two people right now that I can tell you to go to, and I'm going to tell you up front. One is um, from this what I'm taking out right here, where I'm looking at right here is from Open Mind / Whole Mind Parenting and Teaching Tomorrow's Children Today by Bob Samples, 1987. Now, he knew this stuff back in 1987, so um, anyway, I'm just going to start. Now, this one says we have more than five senses. And he says, this is what Bob Samples says from 1987. He says, current research suggests that we are not limited to the traditional five senses. And this, I still need to do something with this. Okay, I lost track. The traditional five senses that society and people have taught us as we're growing up, that like the sight, sensing visible light; hearing, sensing vibrations; touch, sensing tactile contact; taste, sensing chemical uh, oh God, molecular conditions; and smell, sensing olfactory oh God, MOLCULAR, molecular conditions, molecular conditions. But he says, I need light. Here's what I basically need. Oh, it ain't plugged in. Oh God, just leave it alone. Hold on, everybody. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, he says, for example, iron-rich molecules have been found in the faceplate bones of the sinus cavities. These molecules appear related to our ability to sense the Earth's magnetic field and thus provide an innate sense of direction. So, in other words, whatever's going on up in here connects us to the Earth's magnetic fields, and it gives us a direction in what direction to go in. To emphasize a point, it may well be that infants, not yet knowing which senses are considered appropriate. Now, mind you, society makes it like as if, well, if it's not appropriate in our world, then it can't be. And the infants not yet knowing which senses are considered appropriate will use them all until they are taught to respond to life using the narrow range acceptable to society. There you go. I mean, you've heard the saying, and I'm sure many of you have heard that we only use 10% of our brain. Well, we apparently only use 10% of our senses too. So anyway, so that's what Bob Samples from 1987 says, and you can go to Open Mind, Whole Mind, Parenting and Teaching Tomorrow's Children today. So if that's apparently it must be because this woman that I got this information from went there and got it. So anyway, and of course, and I read the traditional five senses that we all learn about growing up: that sight, sensing visible light; hearing, sensing vibrations in the air; touch, sensing tactile contact; taste, sensing chemical molecular conditions; and smell, sensing olfactory, olfactory molecule. I'm telling you, molecule conditions. So, but there's more. So then the additional senses that we're not taught. Now, the scientists have been working on this, and for quite some time, and there are some scientists that will add these additional senses to the original five. They're teaching that there's extra senses that this body can sense and our brain can sense, and hearing and all of that. So one of them is balanced movement, sensing. Now here we go. can 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 Kinesthetic geotropic conditions. Connect. I am burning up that word. Can Kinesthetic. Kinesthetic. Geotropic conditions. Vestibular vestibular sense, sensing repeat. My mouth does not want to work today. I wanted this to be a serious thing now. Vestibular sense, sensing repetitious movement. That's mean you like your heartbeat, constant. It repeats itself over and over and over again. Temperature sense, sensing molecular motion. That's you're sensing the heat and all that's going on out there in the sun and the heat and whatever's heating. Um, say for instance, like a day like this. Well, if the sun's out, yeah, but it's not out shining and bright and shining on things and people and stuff. So since I can't um, feel the warmth of the sun, then my mood goes down. I'm not sensing anything good that this body needs in that area. I know I'm not explaining it well, but I'll give you the people. You can go look this up. Pain, nociception, nociception senses. That's when you have pain, and no matter what kind of pain it is. Now that's not like touch like this. It's pain. Pain can be internal too. So and you can't even see what's causing the pain. Eidetic imagery, neuroelectrical image retention. That's you can remember something that you've seen, and the electrical image that I don't know. She explains it a lot more, but these are the additional senses, and I'm just learning them, and I don't even know how to pronounce the names, but this is all leading to something. Magnetic sensing, fluoromatic orientation, infrared sensing, long electromagnetic waves. Then you have ultraviolet sensing, short electromagnetic waves. Ionic sensing, airborne ions and their charges. Vomeronasal sensing pheromones. Now, the pheromones I understand. That's male and female. It's a scent that your body and your senses will automatically pick up from people, and generally it's the opposite sex, and that's basically what attracts male and female to one another. And so that determines whether or not, I mean, it's a smell we can't smell, but we smell. I don't understand the concept of it, but that'll tell us whether we like somebody or not. And we don't like what that's at first glance, that's first whatever, and then anytime after that. Now you'll learn to like their personality and stuff like that, I guess, if you can uh, associate with the pheromones. And then there's proximal sense, sensing physical closeness, how you can tell how close you are to something and how big it is. There's test yourself, put a blindfold on, make sure you can't see, and see if you can walk around and sense when you're close to something or even somebody. If you ever watch like these high action movies where the guys are, I mean, they know how to fight, they know how to do kung fu, they know how to do all kinds of stuff. And they can sense when somebody's like back here, and how, whether or not to turn around and hit that way and do this and do that. But if you ever watch them, that's why, because they got the proximal sense. Uh, they sense what's there and what's not there. And then there's electrical sensing, surface charges. And then there's barometric sensing, atmospheric pressures. That's like people that are high up on what do you call it, sea levels and stuff like that. Like if the barometric pressure is high, maybe you'll get a headache, maybe your face will feel puffy, maybe you'll feel like you're in a fog. um, but the whole point, well, I'll tell you. And then there's the geogravimetric sensing, differences in mass, like how big something is and so forth. Then there's clarinescence, clarinescence is the ability to smell something or some condition that is not present at the moment. Is the ability to put your consciousness in another time or another location and pick up information about the time and place. It includes being able to discover hidden individuals, find lost individuals, or to smell various metals, chemicals, water, or events. People that have clairnaudience will predict things like fire or explosions before they happen. Now, I've had some experiences the last couple of years, and it's really hard to. I know people have a hard time believing that this has happened to me. Now, first time was I was watching a cowboy movie, and the horses running across the dirt, and I mean, a bunch of them running and digging up the dust and stuff. I can smell the dust, and which it bothers me immensely. So I have to hold my breath till if I want to watch the movie, I have to hold my breath so I don't smell that dust. And then I had another incident where I was watching somebody working with lawnmowers and stuff like that, and they were putting gasoline in and running the gasoline and stuff, and I could actually smell that gasoline. But this kind of thing explains more to me now. Now, like I said, this is all, I'm just learning all this myself. So, but I mean, I knew kind of like in the last couple of years that something was going on with me because I could sense the energies around me that weren't, that they were either in a good mood or they were in, most generally it was always bad energy, bad, that felt depressing and felt sad, and I thought it was me. I thought it was me being depressed. I have noticed something about me that I do get sad and I do get depressed, but it's because of something that's happened in my life, and I know that it's happened. Like a breakup. You're going to be sad over that unless you absolutely want to get away from that person. Yeah, but it but you get a divorce, you get sad, you get, now that's understandable, but for just to be sitting around the house, and especially when you're around there, you got neighbors and stuff like that, or you drive past a house or something, and you just instantly start getting sad, or you get, it's kind of a, it's not what you call a depressed, but it's like something is oppressing you, something is making you feel bad, something is making you feel sad. And and once I started watching that, noticing that that's not me, because there's nothing around me to make me sad, make me feel bad, nothing going on in my life, didn't break up with nobody, and things. And then of course, and then there's there's other conditions too, that uh, all these other senses and stuff going on. If you just recently talked to somebody, and and you uh, it'll pick up on it in here, and some of these other things about when you're talking to somebody, and then after you walk away from them, then you start feeling this. Uh, well, did I upset them? And so you start feeling that, um, that whatever was going on during the conversation. That's the conversation is what triggered that. So anyway, um, that's clairnaudience, clairnaudience, and then there's clairaudience. To become clairaudient, you must be able to hear with hear within. You got to hear something within you. Sometimes you will hear your own voice. I hear my own voice a lot talking to you in your head. Sometimes it will be a strange or unknown voice. Other times you will notice or recognize small messages in the middle of an ordinary conversation. That's what I'm talking about. Say for instance, and what I'm picking up from this is, like I was saying, you're going through a conversation and this is being said and that's being said. Well, I don't know if you remember my video from yesterday that I said that we've been taught a different way, that the evil, like they say demonic, they say demons are out there. Well, I I refer to whatever energy is out there, because everything's energy. We're energy. And like if you're having a conversation with somebody and this little mischievous, um, maybe not what you want to call evil, but it could be. I mean, I don't want to say demonic, but it's an entity energy that's coming through as you're talking to whoever. Did something is said in there, and that entity will lie on that word, and then afterwards bring it to your mind to say that you shouldn't have said that, or you shouldn't have done that, uh, when you didn't do anything wrong at all. So you will take that to heart. It'll bring sadness to you, and um, bring overthinking to you, that you said something you shouldn't. You said something wrong when you didn't. That's just an example of things I go through. So whatever that entity was, that energy that had came floating through, because one of the things I've learned in the past few years is, and I've been telling everybody, words are very powerful. And once you speak words, they go out there. Words are energy, just like anything else. Once you speak words, they go out there in the atmosphere and they travel around out there. And whether it be good or whether it be negative, somebody uh, saying hateful things to people and stuff, that goes out into the atmosphere, and then you'll be sitting around and these words float by in the energy. Now I know y'all think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, start checking it out. Start. Uh, Sometimes you can Google that stuff and it'll take you right to a good information source. But if you're going to start studying these kind of things, then you need to go to people that have studied these things. And I'm going to give you this other lady. It's Penny Kelly, and it's either www.pennykelly.com or at 2024 Kelly Networks LLC. Or you can catch her on YouTube, Penny Kelly, PennyKelly. She's a elderly lady. She's in her 70s, and she's been through all of this. All of this. She's went to, I don't know how, she's got I don't know how many degrees. She's a doctor. She teaches good health eating, and she's got a good book out. So, but you can go to YouTube and type her name in there, and it'll bring up a bunch of videos that she's on, and or Rumble. And so these are some of the places that you can look for: www.pennykelly.com or at 2024 Kelly Networks LLC. So, but anyway, um, that other times you will notice or recognize small messages in the middle of an ordinary conversation. And changes in the uh, quality of the sound or sounds that overlap ordinary speech and conversations. There can also be changes in the tone. So when I say to everybody, be aware of what's going on around you, it's not just what's going on in the world. It's all these different senses. And now that, like I said, I was telling you all this before I actually knew this stuff existed. I was just going on what's coming from what I'm hearing. It's been, given to me message wise. What my empathic abilities pick up from out here and stuff. Now I don't know how to control it all yet, but I'm going to learn that when I feel certain um, vibrations or feel an energy that don't feel good, then I need to investigate it more because definitely it wasn't me. Nothing's going on in my life to have caused that. So, but anyway, you go on and it says, and there can also be changes in the tone, quality, and character of auditory perception. Now, whatever we're perceiving, that we're hearing, or we're sensing, you must also be able to recognize the character and nature of the message coming to you. Now, that's like what a lot of times when I sit down to do my videos, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about, but sometime in the day I have before or the same day, I've got this clicking in my ears, and it's like sort of like Morse code, and or what do you call it? Telegraph. You know how the telegram you click 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 click. Well, that's what I'm hearing. So if I can recognize the character and nature of the message coming to me, then the information it contains, I, I um, I've got to recognize that and know where to direct it. So that's clairaudience. And then there's clairsentence. Sentence. I'm going to spell it. CLAIRSENTIENCE. Now, normally I'd be able to pronounce them words and stuff, but I'm in the public eye right now, and I feel very vulnerable right now. So to become clairsentient, you must be able to feel at many levels, to notice the minute changes that occur from moment to moment. Now, when I'm talking on the phone to somebody, it's real easy for me to start sensing uh, those things and feel at many different levels when I'm talking to somebody on the phone. And so to correctly track these feelings and their connections to the actions and events going on around you, and to recognize the significance of the messages and information that come to you at the feeling level. So when I say beware, you basically you got to tune into your senses, your awareness, your consciousness. So your consciousness knows what's going on. And because that's basically the name of this video that I'm sending you to, that you can go look it up, and it's the level of consciousness. All these things, all these senses will awaken your consciousness to senses and feelings and knowings and messages that you never knew existed before. And so, anyway, we'll go back to clairsentient. You must be able to feel at many levels to notice the minute changes that occur from moment to moment, to correctly track these feelings and their connections to the actions and events going on around you, and to recognize the significance of the messages and information that come to you at the feeling level. The more you practice inner silence, the more clairsentient and telepathic you become. Different times, I've told you different times, and I've said to different people, I just know things. Things just come to me. Well, I've been seeing things and visioning things from the time I was a little kid. Never understood them, but those things have always come to me easily. Now, had I had somebody to teach me all this stuff I'm learning now, I'd be a lot further along than I am now. But I do know I'm an empath, and I'm empathic. I can talk to somebody on the phone and pretty much tell you what they're doing on the other end of that phone line. So, but anyway, then there's clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is a broad term for a variety of psychic abilities that can generally be thought of as seeing. Now, this has become very clear to me for quite some time. You could also just as correctly think of it as knowing. When having a clairvoyant moment, some people will say, I have a feeling that, even though they are seeing something. To become fully clairvoyant, you must be able to visualize on demand. To notice or recognize small visions or mental images when they appear in the corner of your awareness, and to interpret the symbolism they usually contain. The images that appear during visualizations and visions contain highly specific information for you, no one else. The more you pay attention to the information, the more information will come to you and the better you will become at making wise decisions. Okay, this is where it comes in, creating a simple life. All of this added together will create a simple life by making wise decisions on what you've picked up here and there, and the senses that you're feeling, the visualizing. Now, when talking about here uh, about knowing or seeing, clairvoyance, a lot of the times when I'm laying down and I'm just resting, it's good so I don't even have to close my eyes anymore, but I can see, and I can actually see it. I mean, it's there. I'm walking along the ground, but I'm not actually walking. I'm kind of floating. I'm floating along close to the ground, and I can see rocks and pebbles and like driveways and roadways and stuff like that. And if I happen to look out, I can see across the distance. Sometimes I can see people out there. Sometimes I can see people camping, and different things. Now, here's something y'all ain't gonna believe me on, but this is true blue. And when I was in Hurricane Michael, well, I wasn't in it. When I came back home, I evacuated, but my home was left standing. And I don't know, it was a few days afterwards, and people were still, doing a lot of cleaning up. That my house hadn't got the tree off the porch yet or anything, and I'm laying on the bed resting, and I can see just as plain as day. I don't have my eyes closed, and this breeze. Well, I didn't feel breeze up there. This the breeze. I could see it came through and picked me up. You ever see the movie Anaconda? That big snake that was big snake, long snake. Well, this wind looked like that. It picked me up, and I'm riding on its back. I'm laying on my belly on its back, and it's started out slow first, and then it's weaving. It's weaving in and out like this, weaving in and out, going this way and going yeah. And what came to me at that time, now I wasn't scared, but what came to me while I was riding its back was it was when the hurricane. It was the hurricane, and all the negativity that this wind started picking up as it went, and it dipped this way and it dipped that way, picking up all the other negativity, which it was drawing the negativity in, and it made it bigger and stronger. So, and of course, there was some people come by, they were interviewing me and stuff like that. And this one company came by and filmed me telling that vision that I had. And it wasn't a vision, I actually experienced it, by the way. So it within me. And they gave me $200 to tell them what, all about it. So then they took it on to their program, but basically what it was, what I got out of that was the hurricane started out just as a little breeze, and as it went, it could hear people saying there's a hurricane coming. Everybody better do this, and all the fear and everything that was coming. People picking up, this wind went through and picking up this negative uh, fear that somebody was feeling, that hurricane was known and it was coming, and it's going to grow, and it's going to grow, and it's going to grow. Well, I watched it grow because it was picking up all the negative words that people were putting out there into the atmosphere. Anyway, that was my experience on that. So, but I can lay in the bed and I can see things. I can see different lights and stuff like that. I can see my third eye, if you want to. I mean, there's not really a third eye there, but it's inside my brain. Sometimes I can see that if I so choose to. And so I know this stuff because I'm experiencing it. The empathic abilities to know things and to be able to, and sometimes they call it word of knowledge. I can sit and tell somebody, we'll be talking and I'll say something about this. Well, how did you know that? Well, I don't know. It just came to me. So I'm just saying, we've got more senses and that we're being taught, and life could be so much more simpler, and we could get to a life where there wasn't no hate and all that kind of different stuff if we knew how to control or not control. I don't want to even use the word control. to use or not use the energies that are coming on around us. So, um, there is, and all of these were called the clairs. The big challenge with all intuitive information and psychability is once you see, hear, or feel something clearly, you must have the guts to take seriously the knowing, the message, or the feeling. You must learn to take it into account as how to make decisions and take action. Only when you can smoothly integrate this new information into your life are able to use it to make good choices can you say you are clairvoyant, clairaudient, or clairsentient. So you got to have the guts to speak up and say it just like me right now. I know y'all are saying, "Yeah, well, boy, how what hole did she crawl out of? From under what rock did she crawl out of?" These things have been going on with me for a long time, and I didn't understand them. So I'm learning now what they are. But you got to have guts to speak up. You got a message, say it, and because you're going to get a lot of you're going to get a lot of criticism. And so intuition and the clairs are like muscles. The more you exercise these and use your intuition, the more you will develop your consciousness. Consciousness is being aware of yourself, of anything and everything that's going on, the molecules, the energies, the hearing and the sight, and just all the senses. The more you develop your consciousness, the more expansive your worldview becomes. And the more expansive your worldview becomes, the more intuition you will have. That's empathic. And people do have intuition, but nobody uses it enough. And keep in mind that the development and use of intuition is dependent partly on your ability to expand your attention to include input from all senses. Now, that attention should grab your attention because I've said many times on these videos that a lot of you do not listen. You think you're listening, but you're not listening. You're not paying attention. And you'll come back with some kind of comment that didn't even make no sense whatsoever because that's not what was being said at all. And it's just not me that's saying this. It's other content creators that are saying, "Look, y'all, you're not listening. That's not what was said." So, paying attention is a lot more than just looking at a screen. It's paying attention to what you see maybe in the background, maybe what you hear, different things. Don't sit there and write the comment and miss the whole important part of what the video's about. And a lot of people do that. They heard one word and they stuck with that word, or sometimes they'll focus on somebody messing with their hair. You're not tuning in. Basically, what we gotta do, paying attention means tune in. So, keep in mind that the development and use of intuition is dependent partly on your ability to expand your attention, to include input from all senses, partly on input coming from within you, the part of you that knows, partly on your ability to integrate common sense into that information, and partly on your ability to respond to what you know, regardless of how awkward the input leaves you feeling, or how unscientific and unprovable that knowing may be. Okay, like for me, that the common sense, and to that respond to what I know, regardless of how awkward. I mean, the things that I'm telling you that happened in my life, I know they happened. I know how it went. So that's how you got to be willing to stand up and say, "Well, I know it, so this is what I know." So how do I incorporate that into to my life and making decisions and stuff like that? So okay, I'll give you another example about knowing yourself. That's one thing. I know enough about myself, and I've just I've come to the conclusion that I know enough about myself that I will look to the past of my insecurities and how I will let different energies going on around me. I'll pick up a thought that that man is going to do me wrong. He's going to do me wrong. He said this or he said that. He's going. So the insecurities that I developed as a child, which I'm working on getting rid of, but going on false information, unless I have picked up something from that other person that has made me aware that of my I sense my senses. I know that's what that means. And I know I'm not making any sense, but I'm just saying that if you know and you and those things that's happened to you and how awkward it feels to be telling people about it, or it leaves you feeling, or how unscientific and unprovable what I know may be, it doesn't matter because I know it. I know it all happened to me. I know that when I'm sitting and talking to somebody on the phone, especially if my senses are on high alert to watch for what they're saying and put it on the back burner, and then go and go to my library and go to see what else was said earlier times and stuff. So that'll draw up. And everybody likes to call it red flags, but I don't like to call it red flags. It's a knowing that, okay, now I can make my decision. Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? Well, I know enough about myself that I like my independence. And do I want to be in a relationship with uh, where I'm going to have, like, do I want to give? I'm not going to give up my independence. In other words, that will cause, if I do give up my independence, it'll cause heartache for me, stress for me. But on the other hand, if I don't want to give up my independence, will it cause stress for the other person? So I got to know all that stuff ahead of time. So I got to look to my senses and what's going on during the conversations, what's going on with me, what I know about me, and that goes for anything. Whether you're making you're going to purchase a house, or move into a camper, or whatever. So and you want to make your life simple. So it's you have to be able. That's what our intuition's for, and we've got to develop that. And the way we develop that is knowing that there's more than just five senses, and that there's all kinds of other uh, things going on around us that we didn't know before. So when I say that, a lot of times I'll say, I'm not feeling well today. I feel like I'm depressed or I'm sad. Okay? There's nothing going on in my life at the time. I didn't lose nobody. I didn't break up with nobody. I didn't break my arm or anything like that. I mean, I'm not, there's no reason for me to be depressed or sad. So then I've got to look around me and say, okay, is there anybody else close around me that could be feeling that way? So basically, or this energy came through that neighbor up the road is feeling, or sometimes you're connected to people that you don't know you're connected to. I don't understand the whole thing, but I I urge you to look this lady up, and there's other people too. There's Dolores Cannon. Uh, uh, she teaches on all this stuff. Um, there's different people out there. Then all you have to do is punch in some of these words and look them up. Go to YouTube and watch them, and then some of them have their own um, websites and stuff that you can go to. So, but this is the first of my videos, and I'll let some of the next ones I want to go to. Like I was saying yesterday, they used to. Let me see how many minutes this is up. Too many minutes. I gotta go. All right. Well, I'll talk to you later. I'm sorry. I gotta go. The video's already too long, so we'll talk later in another video.